I feel like I look extremely pale and my eyebrows are like non-existent. Oh well. Hi there, my name is Kovu Kingsrod and I really wanted to film a video today, but I really didn't know on what until I saw this video on Instagram of someone making like delicious food, and it was just so weird because they just like took minced meat and just like shaped it as if it was like modelling clay, and I was like, oh my god, you can't do that. Like someone used to, like that's someone's meat. Like something, like that was inside an animal. Like that was what like kept an animal alive or something. Like that was part of a living thing. You can't do that, can you? Can you? I thought to myself, hey, that was a very vegetarian thought. And then I thought like, hey, I am a vegetarian. Maybe I should make a video about that. So being vegetarian isn't really interesting, not to me at least. And like, I don't identify as a vegetarian. I don't really think about it ever, and that's why I never actually mention it. And like, I forget that I'm vegetarian all the time. Not that I forget that, like, I forget it as in like, oh, I'm gonna eat meat now, and then I'm like, oh shit, I'm a vegetarian, not like that, but my mind has like turned off that, like the part of my mind that's like, oh, meat is something you eat, it's like turned off now. And so it's nothing that I think about. It's just like, I see other people eating meat and I'm like, oh right. But I guess that what could be kind of interesting to people is knowing how I became a vegetarian, because people have asked me that before. They're like, you don't eat meat, and I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, how did that happen? So I think I'm going to talk about that in this video. So this is how I became a vegetarian. So, fun fact, I used to be a huge meat lover. The biggest meat lover on the planet. Maybe not like the biggest meat lover on the planet, but you get what I mean. Like, I even made a song when I was like 10 about how much I loved meat. Just meat. I loved meat so much. And I was like, I'm never gonna become a vegetarian. Like, what did they even eat? Like, grass? And let me also just add that I used to be very big. Well, not very big, but I used to be a bit like chubby. Chubby chub. Like, I was chubby. I'm not saying that all like people who eat meat are like, because obviously, no. Then I became like 12, 13, and I was introduced to the band Fall Out Boy, which was, and kind of still is, my favourite band. Fall Out Boy, that's just, that was just a part of my life. That was just, like Fall Out Boy and me and Fall Out Boy, it's just this special thing. Like, it's just, I don't know. I got into Fall Out Boy, became a super huge, mega fan. It was insane. My Instagram account started out as a Fall Out Boy fan account, so that's why it's called Bands Are Fob Not Fab, because like Fall Out Boy is the only band that counts. That was sort of a little pun thing. It's not really a pun. Anyway. But yeah, I became a super fan of Fall Out Boy, and I found out that at the time, I don't think he is anymore, but Patrick Stump, the lead singer of Fall Out Boy, was vegetarian at that time, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool, like vegetarian, whoa. And I adored Patrick Stump, I still do. Patrick Stump has a special place in my heart, the same with the other guys in the band, but I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool, Patrick Stump is a vegetarian, now I want to become a vegetarian. So like in October 2014, I started kind of quitting meat. I thought it was kind of cool, but also really embarrassing, because I went on this date thing, and it was more of like a double date, but not quite a double date. Like more people came with us, but to us it was a date, if that makes sense. Like, we were gonna order pizza after one of our like theatre shows, theatre performances, and one guy jokingly said like, ha, none of you guys are like vegetarian or anything, and I was so ashamed. I was like, kind of, like, I'm trying to cut out meat and stuff, and they're like, oh, why? And I was just like, I don't know. So, over to the main reason I became a vegetarian. When I started cutting out meat with that pizza and everything, it wasn't really that serious, but then I started battling a eating disorder, and it was quite bad, and at that point I didn't eat anything, so including meat. After a while I decided to try and recover, and then I started eating like certain things, but not everything at once. Like, I started out with like vegetables and bread and like stuff like that, and then later I moved on to like eggs, and then I never really went or moved on to meat. I didn't want to eat meat even after like months after I started recovering. I did not want to eat meat because there are so many like salts and fats and stuff in meat that I just did not want in my body. Like I knew I was recovering, I was doing well, but meat, no, that is not happening. Like I was just, no, I'm not gonna get meat into my body. That's a no. And I know not all meats are like that. I know that like white meat, like fish and chicken, which vegetarians cannot eat, by the way. I get questions like that, like, you can eat fish and chicken, right? And like, chicken and fish is like meat, it's just not red meat. But I can eat like eggs and dairy products and stuff because I'm not a vegan, because vegans, they don't eat like animal products at all. But I'm not really a big fan of it, so I try and avoid it. Like I only use like almond milk and stuff like that, and yeah, anyway. So that is like the main reason. I know I'm not as like enlightened on the meat industry as I should have been. I know that's a reason why a lot of people are vegetarian, but that was just my personal reason for being vegetarian, and thank God not everyone, like everyone's reason is like that. I just also find it very, I don't know, I don't want to eat something that's lived. Like I really don't want to eat something that's lived. That just doesn't seem morally right to me. Like in my head it just feels very wrong. I used to have this image every time I ate meat, like this was when my mental health was at its worst, but I just had this image of me biting myself in the arm and like pulling out a piece of meat of my own arm, and I had that image in my head every time I ate meat. So it wasn't a very like pleasant experience for me to eat meat then. I don't think that's completely healthy, but yeah, not eating meat is fine. As long as you like have a great diet, which I don't have. I really hope you liked this video, although it was sort of a mess. If you want me to talk more about being a vegetarian in another video, and you have any questions for me, then please leave those down below. It can be anything from how to go vegetarian in a healthy way to my favourite food. Stay safe and eat, drink, and do not hurt yourselves, and remember there was so much more than you could ever realise, seriously. I hope you're all having an absolutely wonderful day today, and yeah, I love you. Bye.